Hello to my 8 subscribers and anyone else. A lot to get to today. Who else was mentioned in the latest Epstein emails? As you're probably aware, Democrats released some very interesting emails that shed light on how much Trump potentially knew about the things that were going on. And Republicans released a ton of emails recently as well. And in the newest release of emails, there are some notable figures, some that you might be surprised by, others that you might expect, and probably most of them you wouldn't even know. So there is economist Larry Summers. Summers, a former Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton, Harvard president, and Obama advisor. In his emails with Epstein, he often criticized Donald Trump, calling him ignorant. He called him crazy, dangerous, and likely guilty of unethical behavior and family profiteering. He was unsure about a Russian connection. He had emailed Epstein, and Epstein wrote back, "Your world does not understand how dumb he really is. He will blame everyone around him for bad results." So this is a theme for Epstein. He talks about how dumb Trump is. People who have been close to Trump over the last, 7 or 8 years have said that he's crazy, that he's stupid, that he's dangerous. I think we might want to listen. We probably should have listened to these people. We can still listen to them. I'm really most interested in people who support the guy still. Are you ever going to switch? How much would it take for you to switch up? Then there's journalist Michael Wolff, who was the one that had like 100 hours of conversation with Epstein on tape. You probably heard him on the tape saying something like he was Trump's closest friend for about 10 years. Newly released emails show journalist Michael Wolff gave Epstein advice on various matters, including media strategy. Epstein told Wolff that a former girlfriend of his could confirm that Bill Clinton, Stephen Hawking, and former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak were never on his island. Wolff responded to Epstein and warned him not to involve her, and said he'd written a USA Today column on how allegations against Alan Dershowitz and Prince Andrew came from unverified court filings. Epstein also talked about Trump's financial problems. He said that he has no money. Epstein wrote to Wolff in February 2019 about Trump, quote, "His biz model is putting his name on real estate development and gets a fee for using his name. The hotel biz is just that. Someone else buys the hotel, hoping to make a profit from its operation and eventual sale." This is also another theme, that Trump is terrible with money. At this point, there have been a number of stories that talk about how fucked he was before he started The Apprentice. He's not a good businessman, and somehow we elected him twice. Epstein also said a victim who worked at Mar-a-Lago knew Trump, although added Trump never got a massage. The White House said the redacted name is Virginia Giuffre, who had accused Trump of no wrongdoing. Again, she died this year. She was in an accident a couple weeks, maybe a month before her death. So emails show Epstein communicating with someone using the alias The Duke, almost certainly Prince Andrew. So in 2011, after a Daily Mail story about Virginia Giuffre's allegations against Prince Andrew surfaced, Andrew claimed he knew nothing about it, and he urged Epstein to issue statements saying that he was not involved. It's so strange to see these emails knowing what eventually happened. Again, Virginia Giuffre ends up dead. Prince Andrew gets his titles revoked. Such a shameful display from the royal family. I don't believe for a second that they were totally unaware of Prince Andrew's behavior through the years if he was doing this type of thing with Virginia Giuffre and Epstein. Prince Andrew also emailed Ghislaine Maxwell asking her to say publicly that he had nothing to do with the accusations. Then you've got emails between reporter Landon Thomas Jr., who was then with the New York Times. Epstein told Thomas Jr. that Giuffre's allegations against Andrew were delusional. Thomas later joked that people expected him to have information on Epstein and Trump because he did a 2002 article on Epstein where Epstein says that Trump is, quote, "a terrific guy who likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." So Epstein, in one reply in a longer thread, wrote back, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" To which Thomas replied, "Yes." In March 2018, Epstein says that Trump was close to a mental breakdown and was evil beyond belief mad. Again, Epstein calling him crazy. Epstein also had some correspondence with Peter Thiel in which Epstein invites him to Epstein Island in the Caribbean, which apparently Thiel did not take him up on. But in another article from PBS from last week, says that in 2014, Epstein sent an email to Thiel saying, "That was fun, see you in 3 weeks." Again, guys, Epstein went to prison in 2008. Why is anyone corresponding with this guy 6 years after that? Whether it's Bill Gates or it's Trump or it's Thiel, how can you talk about the Antichrist when you're running in the same circles as Trump or as Epstein? Then there's Steve Bannon, Trump's former White House advisor turned podcaster and also Trump 2028 peddler. Quote, in June 2019, Epstein wrote to Bannon about Trump and Andrew. Prince Andrew and Trump today, too funny, he wrote. Recall, Prince Andrew accuser came out of Mar-a-Lago. Bannon replies, can't believe nobody is making you the connective tissue. I can't believe this timeline. If this were 2000 or 2008 or 2014, all of this would be massive news. But because the bar for Trump is so low and his followers are such fanatics, this is what we have. And sadly, Noam Chomsky mentioned here as well. Apparently in an August 2015 email exchange, Epstein said to Chomsky that he should only travel to Greece if he felt up to it. Epstein offered his place to Chomsky during an email exchange that they had about work. Anyway, that's not all of the people. Emails will probably keep coming out. I think they need to release these files as soon as possible. I think we'd all be better off for it. Left, center, right, old, young, whatever. Can we agree that this level of corruption is not good for our country? So let's see what happens. That's all. Thanks.